Firstly, I would like to commend the Honourable Jeremy Buckingham for leading this inquiry. It was very interesting and very ably surmised just then. It was an incredibly detailed and complex set of topics that we engaged with, and I also would like to thank the Secretariat staff for the work that they did unwinding so much of the complexity for us. And I do note that the terms of this inquiry are quite broad, which meant that we received submissions that were quite wide-ranging. And I think that it's a starting point, as the Honourable Jeremy Buckingham said. The next steps require more detailed work. This is an area that will be constantly changing. It is such a rapid pace of development and change that we really need to be on the forefront and on the front foot consistently with an ongoing body, which is why I think the Joint Standing Committee is a fantastic idea. I think when we think about the government's role in AI, it can be what I think of as four main components: how government departments and governments use AI and what that models for the wider economy and society. Secondly, if government has a role in educating the public about the capability of AI, whether it's for economic benefit in business or you're combating mis and disinformation at election time or protecting people from, and particularly young people and young women, from deep fake pornography. Thirdly, how governments legislate, regulate or guide the development of AI technology, including data management and privacy, through to applications of AI like in social media. And fourth, if government does play a role in bringing experts together to explore AI capability, future applications and possible uses, interstate and international engagement. And I think AI has the potential to break down a sense of shared reality in our society. And for us, it requires political leadership to equip people with a basic level of knowledge and understanding of AI so that the 4 points that I just spoke about become a way for us to work together and actually ensure that we have a sense of shared reality in our society. So we learned that there are pockets of digital innovation in government, and we received a piece of work which was by the New South Wales Ombudsman in partnership with the University of Sydney, which really revealed the automated decision-making that already existed in government. And I think it revealed that there are departments like health, education, transport, and now the Department of Planning that are taking on these technologies and using them to drive efficiencies, to drive a greater understanding of how policy outcomes will actually affect individuals, to have tools like EduChat, where you have essentially a chatbot that has excellent data fed into it, which causes it to be useful. That is, you've got syllabus information that is directly relevant to the people who are searching for whatever they need to search for in the syllabus or in previous exams, for example. But I note, of course, that AI has been used in services like Revenue New South Wales, which has been using artificial intelligence tools since 2018 to identify and support vulnerable people who may be unable to pay their fines, and it provides them with an alternative resolution to fines or imprisonment. So these are the kind of front-facing, customer-centric ways that we can utilise this technology for the betterment of the taxpayer. I would note that AI could be used for activities like the New South Wales Drug Summit, where you have a group of people, disparate people, who can be recorded in a session, and AI can be used to glean the most important parts of that conversation, whether it's common words that are used or linking ideas and sentences that can be used to get disparate views and ensure that there is a sense of cohesion. I mean, there are just so many ways that these tools can be used today and should be used today to enhance the decision making that government has on its plate at the moment. I wanted to note that AI could actually soon be set up. It could be setting up its own functioning profit-making businesses. So an AI will soon be able to communicate with a bank and set up a bank account, communicate with customers, set up a website, actually have a literally functioning profit-making business. That is the world that we're going into. So how are we going to deal with those kinds of problems as we move forward? I mean, this is this demonstrates that the use of AI can have massively disparate effects on people depending on the ways that they understand how it works and how to use it. So this is where I think government has a really important role to ensure that there is a standard level of education around these technologies and the capabilities that they have. It should not just be in the wheelhouse of quantum computing companies, which will obviously use AI to great effect. It should also be information and knowledge and skills that should be distributed amongst our population, like being literate, like being able to read a book or engage in conversation in the same language. That is the kind of education that we need to be embedding in our society if we're serious about AI, because Australians are very sceptical about AI. It's 52% of Australians in the Edelman Trust Barometer this year said that they reject AI. That's the kind of mentality that we are dealing with today. We have to be realistic about the kind of state that we're engaging with. Like, we've got to meet people where they're at, not just assume knowledge or not just assume that people will be excited about this new technology in the way that some of us here are. I think that it is that the productivity uplift that was spoken about by the Productivity Commissioner, the Adaptive New South Wales report found that emerging technologies could potentially increase productivity growth in New South Wales to 2% a year and lift the growth rate of gross state product to 3% a year to 2035. These are huge gains. This is a productivity dividend that they calculated of an extra $11,600 per person or $27,400 per household. This is its government-owned source revenues could also grow by as much as $4.5 billion by 2034-35. It is a huge amount of money that we are potentially we're risking. That's what we risk if we don't adopt emerging technologies in a serious and concerted way. It is a game changer. There was a recent report it was reported in the AFR. The Commonwealth Public Service conducted a Microsoft Copilot trial, took place over 6 months, and it found that people on average using this technology, including the time it took to check the output of the accuracy of these AI-created like briefs or whatever work was being used, people saved 1 hour per day. Public servants were saving 1 hour per day with the use of this Copilot AI technology. It's huge. It's just, I think, possibly more than the Productivity Commission would have calculated. And people used it for meeting summaries, real-time answers, formatting assistance, drafting assistance, and they're saving time summarising information, undertaking preliminary data analysis, preparing slides. We all know how exciting that is. So these are the real gains that we can make if we use this technology effectively. But unfortunately, I also note that major agency new initiative funding, and this includes customer service, is running dry. It is going off a cliff after 2024 to 2028. The number of new initiatives and the funding that they will receive is literally dropping off a cliff. And we see that in the forward estimates in the budget. That is incredibly problematic and really worrying if we're being serious about investing in this technology, because the uplift is huge. The benefit to government and to the taxpayer far outweighs that initial investment that's required. I wanted to note that the BCA and the Tech Council and also the RMIT Blockchain Innovation Hub all noted that certainty is required, that regulatory stability is required if we're going to have serious investment from the private sector in this space. We need to be very clear that regulation is not just state-based, that it harmonises interstate and nationally, and we need to ensure that it is stable and certain. Look, the Coalition put 4 recommendations to the committee, which are reflected in the minutes. One of those was to have a New South Wales AI Commissioner, to have a leadership role in dealing with all these really important issues that we've been speaking about. I again commend the committee and the report to the House.